Hey everyone, so today I want to talk to you quick about ways to kind of track your food without utilizing like a food scale, or ways to help you minimize your calorie consumption without, again, using a food scale. So one of the first things is practicing portion, and I believe that's what, when you track your food, you're basically portioning your food by weighing it out and measuring it. But if you're not one that wants to start that way, one simple tool is to kind of practice balance through either utilizing, maybe instead of using a bigger plate, you can use a smaller plate, or you can utilize your hand as part of your portion guide. So you'd want to say maybe about one palm size of protein. You could do a cupped handful of vegetables, a fist size of carbs, which also would include like your fruits as well. And then when you're going to consider how much fat you're going to have, you want to kind of look at it from a thumb perspective. So like one portion of your thumb. Obviously that's going to vary depending on your weight, your height, female, male, all that, what your goal is. But that's just a good tool to utilize is your hand. Also, you always want to aim to have more vegetables versus fruits in your day. So I always say around like maybe a 3-to-1 kind of ratio of vegetables to fruit. But when you're looking at your plate, you should have a good majority of even like at least 1/3 to half your plate with like vegetables, and then some whole grains, complex carbs, things like your brown rice, your red potatoes, sweet potatoes, quinoa, farro, beans, lentils, all those kinds of things. And then make sure at least like a quarter of that plate is your palm size, 1 to 2 just about, of your protein. And then again, your fats are in there as well. So the next way to kind of help you decrease calories but not have to use a scale is make sure that you're drinking water throughout the day, because sometimes we don't drink enough water, which therefore leads me into the next one is where you snack. So try to also minimize your snacking. So having enough fluids in your system will help with that. And then that will also help minimize hopefully the snacking that you're doing. So just focus on bigger meals. For your water consumption, because I've had this question before, you can definitely want you drinking majority of water. You could also do seltzer water or sparkling water, something that has pretty much 0 calories, like no sugar. So lay off the sugary drinks. And then you could also do, if you need a little quick fix, maybe something like a diet soda instead of a regular soda. I'd say maybe once in a while, not all the time having a diet soda. But just to have a little bit of flavor in your water or something like that, could do that. And another great one is tea. If you want water, flavored water, tea, maybe adding some herbs or some like lemon or lime, something like that. So fill up on your fluids, and then that should help with your snacking, but also help keep you more full. But then also minimize the snacking portions and just focus on more actual meals. Another way to help you kind of decrease your calorie consumption is don't watch your screens or don't watch your TV. So take away distractions while you're eating and try to just sit there and enjoy your food mainly. So don't eat, out of a bag. Try to, if you're going to have, say, some popcorn, try to maybe put it in a bowl and put it in a smaller bowl than what you normally would. Chips or anything like that. Watch those kinds of things, okay? And don't just sit there mindlessly eating. So actually have intention while you're eating and enjoy your food. Another one is that you want to watch the amount of calorie dense foods that you're taking in. So that means that they come in smaller portions but pack a lot of calories in them. So think of things like peanut butter, nut butters, seed butters, nuts and seeds, all those. You only get a small amount, but there's a very high fat content in there, which then really increases the calorie content. So those things you may want to maybe kind of measure out a little bit and get that idea of like, okay, I measured it this time, so it's about like this much, so that you're not just like sitting there, again, mindlessly eating out of the peanut butter jar and just scooping it, and next thing you know, you're halfway done. Well, that's a lot of extra calories and a lot of extra fat. So be mindful of those small things, and things like oils too. We're like, oh, I just use a little bit of oil, and you just use like a third of the bottle. That really adds up. So watch your oils as well. And butters, just regular butter. Watch again about how much butter you have. So things like that. So maybe on those things, maybe have like a measuring spoon by you, one that you can leave out and handy, and it's right there. So it's not like a chore to go get it out of the drawer or something. That will just help you stay more on track with that. And then one of my last points is looking at food consumption. Really hone in on the amount of protein you're having and then the amount of fibrous foods that you're having, because these two things together should always be at your meals, and they should always be thought about and intentionally eaten throughout the day. So you always want to focus that you're getting a good amount of protein and then also fiber. And fiber will come from foods like a lot of different types of vegetables, like green leafy vegetables especially. Berries are a really good one. Fruit with skin on it, whole grains such as and complex carbs and things like, beans, legumes, your sweet potatoes, the quinoa, all those kinds of things, oatmeal. So focus on also having those, because those are going to help slow down the digestion of your food, which then again will help make you feel fuller, and it'll keep you more satisfied in between meals, so that then you don't want to snack. So those are my few tips for you guys, and ways to try to kind of decrease your calorie consumption if you need to, but without utilizing that scale. All right, you guys have a good weekend.